talk about a film that's one of my favorite films that doesn't get very much credit, and I don't know why. We are, of course, going to be talking about Get Carter with Sylvester Stallone. Um, Basically, I'll do an overview of the movie real quick, and then I'll go into why I like the movie. Um, basically, his Sylvester Stallone's brother gets killed. At the beginning of the movie, he plays basically a collector for the mob, basically. When somebody doesn't pay, he goes out and beats them until he gets the money. That's just what he does. Kind of like his character in Rocky, but a little bit more polished. And he hears about his brother's death. He goes back to find out what happened. And he encounters a lot of uncovering a lot of stuff he had no idea he was going to, come up with. This is definitely not your usual run of the mill revenge movie. The story has some layers to it, and I'm surprised to see that people did not appreciate it. Jack Carter, his character, he's not a good guy. He is a bad man working in a bad town, doing bad things. Always was a bad guy. But he reaches a moment in his life when the things that take place between him and his boss, his girl Audrey, who he's seeing on the side, he kind of reaches that point where he knows that he's not going to get her. She's going to side with the boss. That's what she's going to do. And then he finds out things about his brother and his brother's family, and all of them act as a catalyst to change him into this guy that wants to do what's right, but he has to do bad to do it. For once in his life, he tries to set things right because he was always kind of the bad brother. How does he do that? And he has to do what he knows how to do. And that's, he does bad things. That's what he does for a living, but he knows that he can fix things by doing bad things. The guys he's messing with are a little bit out of the reach of the arm of the law. So, he doesn't wait around. He gets stuff done. If he sees a problem, he fixes it. He fixes it with violence. And, he feels that his brother's wife needs help, and her daughter is kind of adrift and not living a real good life, and doesn't really have a dad anymore. Never really did, because her dad was into corruption and drugs and things of this nature. So it's time for him to set things right. He kills people by shooting them, by throwing them off the balcony, by beating up in the elevator. Why does he do this? Why does he do stuff like that? Because these are the same things that would happen to him if he didn't be who he was and he let his guard down. Somebody would do these things to him. And great acting performances from this movie. Stallone, really serious acting and really finds a good character. This is some of his best work. Obviously, Michael Caine is amazing in this movie. Mickey Rourke, very underestimated in this movie. Rachel Lee Cook did a really good job. There's some really good scenes with Sly and Mickey Rourke in this movie, where they kind of play rivals. They have known each other for a while. They used to work the streets with each other, but now they're kind of rivals, and he's figuring out that he had something to do with it. Mickey Rourke plays Cyrus Pace, and he's always on edge and always understanding that Mickey Rourke, he did something, but he doesn't know what. And so he finds out eventually, obviously, that Cyrus Pace is working for Jeremy Kinnear, who is played by Alan Cumming, who is really good as well, who is pretty much a a billionaire, a very young billionaire, and he's into drugs and into porn, and you know, there's just behind the scenes scum that these guys are into. It's pretty crazy, but they play really good bad guys. Alan Cumming and Mickey Rourke are really good. Like I said, Rachel Leigh Cook does a good job. Miranda Richardson plays his brother's ex-wife. The movie's directed by Stephen Caine. But, you know, I think Stallone does a really great performance, has a really great performance in this movie. And I think that, I just think that it's underrated on a lot of levels. It's a revenge story, it's an action movie, but it's a smart, fun action movie with different layers, and I love the way the movie was shot. I love that you get to see Stallone walking around and kicking ass in a suit, a very nice suit. As his name is Jack Carter. In the movie, he has Jack Carter cufflinks, and is very concerned about his appearance. Drives a really nice Cadillac, and I like his character. I like the style. I like the music in this movie was really cool too. I like the different music. It had a different feel. Although it's your basic action / revenge movie, it has a lot to it. And Stallone, he goes through a lot of different transitions in the movie. And Mickey Rourke plays a good bad guy. He's not in the movie a lot. He's only in the movie 10 or 15 minutes. But the scenes he had with Stallone are really good. There's some really good one-liners in this movie as well. There's a part where Stallone is face-to-face with Mickey Rourke's character, and you know, he tells him to take off his glasses because he wanted to see his eyes. So Cyrus takes off his glasses and he says, "Am I still pretty?" And Stallone says, "Yeah, like cat piss in the snow." That's a great line. It's a great classic line. So he's got the one-liners in here as well. You know, Michael Caine is also a bad guy in this movie. I don't want to give the whole movie away. I kind of told you a little overview of the movie. But, you know, it's very highly underrated, and it pisses me off. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite Stallone movies. I think if it came out today, I think it would be bigger than when it came out in like 2000. Stallone had not really had a lot of big hits for a while, and I think there was a danger of him almost going to direct-to-DVD there for a little bit. I think that they weren't giving him much of a chance, and I don't think anybody gave this movie really a chance. Of course, it is a remake of the original movie that was in the 70s, starring Michael Caine. But this movie is so good. I love Stallone. I love his interaction with Rachel Leigh Cook, who is actually phenomenal in this movie. She does a really good job, and there's a part where he finds out that she has been raped, and he has to go kill a guy. And it's hardcore. It's a hardcore scene. So rewatch this movie. Maybe some of you really like it, but I don't really hear much about it, and I think it's a shame because this is an underrated action movie, one of Stallone's best ever. And I give this movie a 9 or a 10. But yeah, so that's Get Carter. So we'll see you soon.